Hope will arise out of the ashes of our past broken relationships, fractured families, and personal struggles. Come walk a mile with me as we allow Jesus to clean out the mess and organize the rest. Welcome to the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I am your host, Maria Wingard. Grab your shoes, lace them up as we start strolling through this week's episode. Continuing with Offendable Me, this is The Bridge, Part 3. Breathing deep, I stare at the match while gas fumes fill my lungs. Contemplating, I run through scenarios. Sometimes you just feel defeated and betrayed like Joseph after running from the trap of Potiphar's wife. What a no-win situation. Stuck in prison, you don't even believe in God dreams anymore. You stoop to negotiating with fellow prisoners while still running true to your God-given heart of helper. Remember me, please, is the plea. I have negotiated for release. I am sure you have too. For no one likes to be imprisoned, let alone thrown into the slammer for false accusations. I have helped fellow prisoners hoping for grace. I have prayed they would remember me on the outside. I have waited years. While waiting in prison, work with excellence to run the show. It may take a few years, but God's timing is His timing, and it will position you for reigning while giving you the perfect place to hone your leadership skill set. This is where we see how you can be offended, but not take offense. Famine hits. Joseph is spot on with what he hears and has the confidence birthed in prison to stand his ground, for he has nothing to lose. Then his brothers arrive. I can so relate to the next setup. Revenge in mind, Joseph has the silver cup placed in his brother's bag, but he couldn't go through with it. Quote, Then Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him, and he cried out, Make everyone go out from me, so that no one stood with him, while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Genesis 45, 1-2. Joseph forgives and blesses those who wanted to murder him, but sold him into slavery instead. How do I get here? How do I get my heart to the place that I can forgive so much deeper than just mouthing the words? How can I bless those who curse me? Where do I find that strength? Quote, To rationalize instead of forgive is the same as telling ourselves rational lies. Anne Hamilton. I completely understand Joseph's pain, reverberating through the wailing that is so loud the entire palace hears his struggle. I have known the right thing to do, yet placed a silver cup or two in my journey towards letting go. Revenge as a dish best served cold would be applicable to this situation. They never saw it coming, and Joseph held their very lives in his hands as he struggled to do the God thing. We so minimize this story and struggle. I believe we all feel like Joseph, cast aside, sold, slandered, and beaten when all we want is a happy family. Jealousy from differing treatment has us stone-cold murderers with our words. We can dress this pig up quite nicely and rarely recognize it for what it is, but most situations are birthed out of pride. I deserve something that was not given to me, and I covet it, believing I deserve it more than the actual recipient. This can appear in the most innocent of ways. We believe so-and-so should have treated us a certain way. Now, aren't they horrid for doing that to me? This is how we pass on our offense while building a case against them. The first step is to stop and pray. I had to ask the Lord to forgive me for taking offense and letting it stay in my heart instead of giving it to Him. I've asked God to forgive them for all the hurtful, mean things that have been done on purpose. Now get ready, because there's going to be a cutting in a different way, because the Holy Spirit's graciousness to prune all of our rotten branches when we ask for His forgiveness. The problem is, many times instead of letting go, we grip tighter, tying a rope around a fence to hold on to dead weight. We get really, really good at swinging it around, bludgeoning those unfortunate enough to be standing in its path. No one will get close enough to hurt me like that again, we mutter, swinging off our sawed-off limb. This is what forgiving but not letting go looks like. It's Joseph hiding the silver cup. It's David cutting Saul's robe. It's us wanting the flying javelins in manhunt to finally be over. Sometimes we must hide in a cave from Saul. Sometimes we must embrace brothers who plotted murder. Sometimes, just like Jesus, we stay out of Judea. As I'm contemplating my bridge, I choose to pour gasoline on the wall of offense I've built instead, while striking the match. They may never cross it, but for me to walk with my Lord, their offenses have got to be like water under my bridge. I am grateful you decided to walk a mile with me, your host, Maria Wingard, on the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I pray that through our conversation, Jesus reveals how He is bridging broken to breakthrough as we stroll through another mile in this journey called life. Hope will arise if you let Him in your life today. To listen to past episodes or find out more, please visit hopewillarise.com.